Hi, I'm Sadie. I'm American and I'm living in Japan.
こんにちは。I'm Akane. I'm Japanese and I'm living in US.
And this is the Foreign Exchange Program. In this show, we invite you to listen in on our insightful discussions about language, culture, society, and personal experiences living and thriving in a foreign country.
So today, our first episode, we are going to talk about internet slang.
Yeah, and we came upon this topic through just a conversation we were having a month or so ago. You mentioned something about how Japanese people use the word laugh online and how that's kind of changed over time. And we thought that was really interesting. So let's talk about that and some other examples.
First slang is laugh in Japanese. So originally we use laugh in internet as an internet slang. We use kanji laugh. Do you know the kanji?
Yeah,
Laugh?
warao, right? Warao.
So warao. So we use the kanji just one character at the end of the sentence, and it means laugh. So it's literally because from the kanji. But you know, if we type the kanji warau, we have to type WARAFU. So it's kind of wrong. So some people thought, that's too tiring or too hassle. So
it's not even a long word.
But just they want to laugh, but they have to type 6 characters.
I see.
So they started just type alphabet double. So it means, this means laugh, like warau.
W, just W.
And then if it's big laugh, they put like multiple W's. And then as you can see, if we type multiple W's, it looks like grass.
Okay, I can see that.
Like in the nature. Like
yeah, sure.
Maybe before
up and down.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Before mowing. Long grass.
Yes, long grass.
Okay.
So, and then some people think, oh yeah, this is like grass. So I don't know who started, but just started to write kusa. Kusa means grass in Japanese. So nowadays, or maybe this internet slang is little old-fashioned. So maybe recently people don't use, but anyways, at the end, people just write kusa in hiragana or even in kanji. And it means laugh.
In kanji.
In kanji. So, kanji, kusa, grass, of course, does not any meaning laugh. But they type kusa and then people understand it means laugh.
Amazing. So what a journey.
This is the history of laugh.
That's really interesting.
As an internet slang.
Yeah. And I feel like at some point I've seen people also write K, like KKKKK before. What is that?
I think that is like a laughing
So that's not
sound.
related to like warao or
no,
like grass.
I think
it's
different ancestor.
Interesting. Yeah, so sometimes I see that too, just like KKKKKKK, and that's supposed to be laughing. Like,
yeah, but how do you say that kind of laughing? Not like a big laughing, like
yeah, kind of like a chuckle or something like that. You could say. Not a big laugh. Yeah. That's interesting though, how it goes from one thing to something completely unrelated.
Yeah,
but still keeps the meaning of laugh.
Very unique.
Yeah, very unique.
So, Sadie, what's yours?
So my first one that I have is kind of a classic. I think most people have seen it on the internet or in text. And it's also laugh. It's related to laughing. And that is LOL. Have you seen this before?
Yes.
Do you know what it stands for? LOL.
Laughing, なんか overloading something.
Good guess. No, I think that's like a combination of two different laughing ones. There are lots of laughing, or there are lots of ways to say laughing in internet slang, but LOL means to laugh out loud. So
Laugh out loud.
yeah, it means you see something and it's so funny that you actually laugh in person, even if you're not with another person. You see it and you go, like it makes you laugh. Originally, that's what it was meant. So something is really funny. But these days, I feel like it can be used for that still, but the meaning has also changed and you can use it ironically or sarcastically too.
Oh.
So even if you don't think something's funny, you can add LOL at the end to make it seem sarcastic or kind of ironic. Like, oh, my car just broke down. It's the best day ever. LOL. Like, nobody's laughing, but you want it to feel kind of sarcastic. You can add it that way. So that one's interesting to me because it started off as just a way to laugh, but kind of morphed into still laughing, but also sarcasm.
Or like, oh, finally, American presidential election finished. LOL.
I don't know. I feel good about that. That's not sarcastic to me. So
because usually, like I heard, finish just one day, but this time took some couple of days.
I see. I don't know. It's not that it just finishes in one day. Usually it takes time, but we have a better idea of what happens. But yeah, that's a good way to put it. You could use it like that.
I have a question. Some people use like capital letters, LOL, and like use lowercase. Use lowercase. Is there any difference?
I think if you use uppercase letters with anything, not just with LOL, but with other slang too, usually, it makes it feel stronger. It's like for emphasis, right? If you read something that's all lowercase letters, in your head, the voice is kind of quieter. It's usually more calm. If you see something in all capital letters, inside your head, your voice is kind of loud or, you know. So it's that kind of difference, I feel like.
That's interesting.
Yeah. In Japanese, you can't really do that. So
no,
it's a unique feature
we
too.
have to write like a bigger letter.
Yeah, right. It's impossible. All right. So what's your next one that you chose?
Okay, next one is katakana owakon.
Owakon.
Written in katakana owakon.
Okay.
Can you guess?
Owakon. I have no idea. In katakana.
Maybe,
is it Japanese though? Or is it like actually a
that's
loan word?
Good guess. Owakon is composed from two words.
Two words. Okay.
So last part, kon, originally loan words.
Kon is the loan word. Owa, like to be finished with something? Something's over? I don't know. I have no idea.
Good guess.
I have no idea.
Iyo. So then I think I came up example sentence. So
okay.
Using kusa, the one we just talked about. Kusa.
Yeah.
Akane, kusa 使うの? それオワコン。
Okay.
わかった? Conversation.
Explain.
So, owa means 終わった。Finished. And kon means contents.
Contents. Okay.
So, 終わった contents.
Okay.
So, it means old fashioned.
Old fashioned.
It's more finished. It's over. Finished. It's not trend anymore.
I see.
So,
okay.
終わった contents. オワコン。
Oh, interesting. I like that. They take two separate things and stick them together like that. Huh. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed. I got like, the it's finished part,
Yeah.
but con could be so many things, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's hard to say contents, conditioner, aircon, that kind of thing.
エアコンね。
Remocon, those types of things. It's like, who knows? But that's cool. That's
Yeah.
really nice. I've
Actually,
never
I
heard that
didn't
one
know
before.
this one. I didn't know
Mm,
this one. So
mhm.
I searched and then I kind of like learned.
Mhm.
So I never used, but I have heard of this
Yeah.
word.
You see it
before.
sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's used with younger people usually?
I
you
think so.
Mm.
Maybe I'm not sure it's really trend right now, but for
Mhm.
sure a lot of young people know this one.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
Except
I'm happy
me.
I got at least like half of it right. Except
I'm young,
Except-
but except me.
Of course.
Okay, so anyway, so what's your next slang?
My next one, maybe you know this one. It's FOMO. Have you heard this before? FOMO.
FOMO, how do you spell?
FOMO. FOMO.
I have seen it, but I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have any guess what it could mean?
FOMO.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on more. わかんないな。
Nice try. So let's say, your friends are all going to some big party and you're not going for whatever reason. But you feel kind of like worried or anxious, like if you don't go to that party, something really cool is going to happen and you won't be there to experience it, right? So FOMO means fear of missing out. Like, I'm worried I'm gonna miss something so exciting or so cool if I don't go to that or if I'm not there for something.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It speaks to a lot of people's anxiety, I think. Like, oh my gosh, I feel so worried about this. I want to fit in. I want to be with my friends and make sure I can experience this awesome thing. And if I'm not there, it feels so bad,
I see. And that's interesting because we cannot explain the concept in a one word.
Right.
But slang we can express.
Yeah, through the slang you can express it and like connect with the meaning of it.
Wow.
And something else that's interesting about this is I feel like through advertising and marketing, they've kind of taken this idea and used it and played to the audience with it. Like, we know people have this FOMO. So we're going to make these like short sales or something for our product. Like, you have to get this now or you're going to miss out. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
And then it's shorter than, explaining the concept and very catchy.
FOMO.
Yeah.
So simple to say.
Wow. I'm going to use it.
You should. Yeah, go for it.
FOMO.
Yeah. FOMO.
That's interesting. I like it.
Yeah. It's good. So if your friends, I mean, nobody's really having parties over there right now, but someday when the world is normal again, if your friends are having a party or going to a concert or have something they're doing and you feel like, I want to go. If I don't go, I'm going to be, worried about it. Like, I'm going to miss something. You can say you have FOMO.
You have FOMO.
Yeah.
We should use the phrase for our podcast.
We should use the phrase for the podcast?
Yeah. If you don't listen, you will have FOMO.
Okay. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
All right. So, what's your final slang you have for us today?
Okay. It's alphabet
Mhm.
MJK.
MJK,
Mm.
like like the Romanized alphabet.
Yes, MJK. So this is
MJK.
acronym.
Uh-huh. MJK. What could that possibly mean? In English, if you say JK, not the M part, but JK means like just kidding. So if I were telling a joke, we say JK. But MJK, I have no idea.
MJK is マジか。
Ah, Majika.
マジかわ
Okay.
かる？
Yeah,
本
yeah,
当に
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Seriously? マジか。
Majika. MJK.
I'm not sure they say MJK, but
Mhm.
they type because it's
Yeah.
faster, of course.
Sure, sure, sure. Oh, that's interesting. Majika.
I
But
think
again, it's like majika is not even a long word. It's so interesting to me. Japanese seems to shorten things that are already really short. Like in American in American slang or like the acronyms that I've been explaining, they're phrases. They're like long phrases that
kind
are
of have
shortened.
to, right?
Yeah, yeah. Nobody wants to
Yeah.
write fear of missing out, like the whole
Yeah.
phrase, or laughing out loud, right?
So I tell you one thing. Actually,
Okay.
Japanese are really lazy. So people
Really
say,
lazy.
"Oh, Japanese people are hard workers," but we are lazy. We always make language shorter.
As short as possible, as short as you
Yes.
can make it while still being understood. That's so interesting. Yeah, I never would have guessed that. It
But
makes sense.
Yeah.
But,
I think it's faster to communicate, so very effective and productive. So maybe that's why people like to make like a phrases or word shorter. MJK
yeah.
also, of course, 本当に, but I mean 本当に is really short phrase, but if we type, it's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
So
You're right.
本当に is like a 3 letter, but one hiragana even ni, we have to type 2 in
Yeah.
so it's longer than just we see. So maybe that's why they use they create a lot of these kind of things.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. And not just on a like a computer keyboard, but if you're like trying to type in your phone, it's really hard, like with the Japanese keyboard. It takes a long time compared to English. I feel like I can write so much faster in English than I can doing this. Like you have to swipe for each letter or tap many times for each like, you know, letter in Japanese. So I can understand wanting to make it as short and easy as possible just because the way you have to write is more challenging. It takes longer. Oh,
MJK.
Majika. I like that.
Okay. So what's your final slang, Sadie?
My final slang. This one is sus. Have you ever heard of sus before?
Sus. How do you spell?
Sus. S-U-S.
S-U-S.
I'll give you a hint. It's like an abbreviation of a word or a couple of words. It could be sus. It's short for something.
Is it positive meaning?
No. It's not positive.
Maybe including sucks?
Good guess. It's not sucks though. It kind of sounds like sucks, but it's not. Sus. S-U-S.
I shouldn't say something but worse.
Be careful what you say.
I have no idea.
No idea. Okay. So sus can be short for either suspect or suspicious. Suspect or suspicious.
Suspicious, suspect.
Yeah. So I think this started becoming popular a few years ago as like, you know, that's like suspect. It's kind of suspect or suspicious. I don't know how it came about, but it was just starting to be used more often. Like, oh, that guy's kind of sus. He's acting kind of sus, you could say. But this one's interesting because very recently it's become really popular again because of a game.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
which one?
Have you
know?
heard of the game Among Us?
No.
Among Us? No. Okay. It's a really popular game these days where people, they're like, I can't even explain it very well. There's a group of people all playing together, and it's basically like two of the people in the group or one of the people in the group is an imposter. And the imposter in the group has to pretend like, you know, they're part of the real group and that they're doing quests or tasks or whatever they have to do. But actually their job is to kill everybody secretly. They have to try and secretly kill people. But when you're playing the game, like sometimes other people can see you and what you're doing. So if, you know, there's another player there and you kill somebody, the person who watched you could say, oh, you know, he was being sus. Like the way he was acting is suspicious. I think he's the imposter.
That's
because the way he was acting is sus.
interesting.
Yeah. So it was popular a while ago.
Sus.
It kind of disappeared. And then because of this game, suddenly it became really, really popular again. And people are saying it all the time. I see it everywhere. Sus. He's acting sus.
Because suspicious, suspect is kind of long word. It's not like a really long vocabulary, but still it takes time to type. So, but they need to use the word a lot. So sus.
And in this game too, I think like they have a chance to discuss with the other people who they think is the imposter, but it's a short amount of time. So if they have a limited amount of time, I think they want to type as quickly as possible. So maybe that's why it's sus instead of like suspicious or suspect. But yeah, I just found it interesting because it was popular a while ago and then it kind of went away. And then once this game came out, suddenly it was super popular again. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I like that one. And it's fun to say. It's like, stop acting sus. You're being sus.
Would you like to use?
I mean, I don't say it like in real life, but sometimes when I'm texting people, I'll say it. If I was in kind of a weird situation or saw someone behaving strangely, you can say, like, I saw some weird guy being sus today at the station or whatever. You know, it's useful. Yeah, so what do you think is the primary like reason for using these kinds of words, for using this kind of slang?
So for Japanese internet slang, I feel the most frequent purpose is to less work, to type words, because to make words, kanji takes more time or have to type more keyboards. But if it's shorter or using alphabet, it's easier. So that's definitely one reason we use internet slang.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like that too with English. You know, a lot of these that I shared, they're like full phrases or kind of feelings or more complex ideas. And the fastest way to communicate them is by shortening them into these tiny, just a few letters. You can see it and immediately recognize or understand the feeling or the idea the person is trying to convey, rather than typing out the whole phrase and having to read it. It takes more time to process. Right. So I think that's a lot of where it comes from for us too.
Yeah. And also maybe especially internet slangs are popular for young people
Mm,
and they use those specific words because maybe adults or older people cannot understand and then they feel like, oh, this is our language and this is only people who this is word this is the word for young people or only we can understand, so they feel like we are in a one community.
sure. It's like a secret language, right? That
Yeah.
older people can't decipher or they can't figure out. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's always been that way for as long as I can remember. Even when I was young and starting out on the internet, I remember thinking like, ooh, there are all these little abbreviations that I can learn. And my parents, maybe they don't know what it means or
Mm-hmm.
something. It's specific to my friend group, even,
Mm-hmm.
or an internet community that I belong to.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes you feel like a part of something bigger.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a really interesting conversation. I had a lot of fun talking about this.
Yeah, I even didn't realize it. This interesting factor of internet slangs, and
I
it's kind
learned a
of
lot.
deep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knew? That's really cool, though.
Yeah, it's really
Thank you for
nice.
talking. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So I cannot wait to talk next topic.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what we come up with next. So stay tuned for that.
Bye.
Bye.